before deciding to change the subject. What about you, Leal? What are you looking to get free of? Oh, nothing these days. In fact, I'm freer now than I've ever been. The only thing I want to be free of now is my worrying heart. But being a mother, something tells me that'll never go away, she explained with a fond smile. Oh, worrying about your daughter, right? Niccolo asked, making her nod. Yeah, that makes sense. My mom tells me she worries about me all the time, he said, with a bright smile as he scratched the back of his head. It brought a smile to Leal's face, too. Oh, come on. It's not like she has anything to worry about, Jacob said, making Niccolo chuckle. Maybe, but parents always worry about their kids. It's just normal, Niccolo replied. I think that's true, but some parents have more reason than others, Leal said, suddenly looking dejected. Jacob and Niccolo glanced at each other, clearly able to see the concern written in the creases of Leal's face. Like what? Niccolo asked after a moment of uncomfortable silence. Well, while that light is worrisome, if I'm honest, I actually came to check on my daughter. My ex-husband, Randolphus, is, well, he's not a bad father anyway. He's just a little... I'm not sure what the right word is. Foolish, maybe. Foolish? Like he makes a lot of mistakes? Jacob asked. Yes and no. Please forgive me for dodging a question. I just don't want to speak ill of him, Leal explained, unable to look them in the eyes. What do you mean? Niccolo asked, sharing Jacob's concern. Well, he doesn't mean any harm by them, but he's very short-sighted about the future and always cooks up these odd get-rich-quick schemes that never work, and sometimes they have consequences, she explained, putting down her bowl and grabbing her side in discomfort. Consequences? You mean he's hurting people? Niccolo asked sternly, a grim look in his eye. Not on purpose, but he has before, yes, Leal explained. I was born in Thomas, but I'm not welcome there anymore because we were exiled after he tried selling some juniper berries he'd found a whole lot of. If he'd even bothered to ask me what they were, I could have told him they were poisonous in a moment, but he got 4 people sick and 2 were found dead before he was stopped, she said, cringing hard at what her ex-husband had done. They all sat in silence for several moments. Foolish sounds like a pretty apt description if you ask me, Niccolo said quietly, his fists clenched around the bottom of his tunic. Jacob just nodded, unable to express his discomfort. Yes, exactly. After we were exiled, I divorced him, but recently I stopped getting letters from Dawn, and I have to admit, I'm terrified that something's happened, Leal said, grabbing her side a little tighter. Cardosa sensed her great discomfort and moved a little closer, curling up beside her with her head facing her master. Leal seemingly unconsciously reached down and patted her body slowly starting to intense. Shouldn't we go find out what's going on? Jacob asked after a moment. Not yet, Leal said, surprising him. Why not? He replied. Because I haven't worked up the courage to face it if something really has happened, she replied. Jacob felt her pain but said nothing. She sighed and reached down for her bowl. She filled her spoon and lifted it to her lips, paused a moment before losing her appetite completely as she returned the spoon to her bowl. Cardosa whined quietly. She smiled weakly and scratched Cardi's chin before placing the bowl down for her loyal companion.